If you come from a neighborhood that's impoverished and you get an opportunity and you make some success, invest in your neighborhood. Your government's not.
50,000 you took home.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's really what's happening with these contracts.
Well, I'm glad y'all broke it down because I got my GED in San Quentin.
Took a loss, you got your first victory, and I'm 2-0.
Marquez ain't hitting as hard as pro.
Rodney Carr?
Yeah.
Bradley wins. Pacquiao and it's Marquez. Boy, you can call out for it. This is the #1 neighborhood sports analyst coming to you from the show Let's Talk Sports. And if you're in San Francisco, you can catch us on the live show on Channel 29 Thursdays at 6:30. And you can also catch us on Channel 29 at 11 a.m. on Saturdays, starting September 4th. And if you want to contact us, you can email us at letstalksportsnation@gmail.com. Or you can chop it up with us on Facebook, in which our show was created from. Now, I'm going to get into the Shawn Porter, Ezekiel Brook fight. Right off back, the 2 points I'm going to hit. Right off back, this fight was great for boxing. It was great for boxing because you actually had 2 contenders come out of this fight. If Kell Brook would have lost, he would have been lost. He would have been forgotten about and looked at as a bum anyway. But by him winning, he becomes a feature name. He's 33-0. And his style was on display, nationwide TV. Shawn Porter, he has 1 loss, but he still got his followers, and he's been on the big stage 3 times. That was his 3rd time. He's been on the big stage 2 other times. So his name is already out there. He already has his supporters, and now we have a deep welterweight division. And I think, this is just as interesting because the welterweight division was dying, and we needed another viable contender as well. And the thing about Kell Brook, what sets him apart from the Keith Thurmans, a lot of other guys, is that he's got 33 fights, man. He's 33-0. A lot of these guys are like 24-0, 25-0. Kell Brook has had the more professional experience. Now, getting on to the fight, what I'm going to say right off the back, I think there's a lot of miseducation in society, and it's going to trickle off into sports too as well. So, the argument is activity versus clean punches. Now, to me, this is not even an argument, really. It's a misnomer, because you only go into activity when there isn't any clean punches landed, or there isn't that many. Then you go to activity, and then activity becomes the tiebreaker. But when there's clean punches landed, hands down, the guy that landed the most cleaner punches, and Kell Brook's got highlights of clean punches that he landed. The guy that landed the most clean punches is the guy that you give the fight to. And I think the sport becomes dumbed down. And I don't want to see guys just wrestling to a victory. And don't get me wrong, I like the rough style and the muscling guys in, but I don't like that when that's the primary attack and you're not trying to land clean punches. And that's what Shawn Porter was doing in that fight. And I feel like, stop calling the kettle black, man. Pops is complaining about Kell Brook's holding, and then you got casuals or you got other fans that get up there and say, yeah, he was holding, and it's just like a misinterpretation of what happened. And usually what happens is somebody will point out one thing, and then we forget about what the fuck we saw, And Shawn Porter made it a rough and tough fight. So that tells you he was holding himself. That's his style. It's the rough, tough, aggressive holding type of style. That's his style, And getting into holding, to give you a little education, there's 2 types of holding. There's holding that disrupts the activity. You know, and that's all it does, is just disrupts the activity. That's why guys get points taken away for that. And then there's holding that can actually be used strategically, either to set up your offense or as a defense, you know, to offset your opponent and to make them have to set up again. You know, and then the second one, the latter, is the type of holding that Kell Brook was doing. And I think the former is what Sean Porter was doing. And getting into Sean Porter's style, you know, I think his style is what I'm gonna talk about a little bit more, because I think it's complex. You know, I like the complex shit. I like the shit that I like but don't like. That makes me go into it more. And you know, Sean Porter is a fighter that I like but don't like. You know, personally, I love him because, you know, he's an African American kid. You know, he comes from the same type of neighborhood as I come from. You know, he's probably somebody I would have been playing PlayStation with too, or fighting with too. You know, and it's a black father, black son story. So I love that, and I wish him the best in life. But now, as far as his fighting style, there's some aspects I like, and there's some good things he did in the fight. You know, but I feel like overall he needs to retool his style, because I feel like the main part of his style is to hold. You know, holding it, he uses it like a punch, and he can bluff a lot of fighters out of a boxing match from that holding, because it wears you down. You feel like you're getting beat up, but you know, you can't knock a guy out in the ring from that kind of holding. You can't win a fight from that unless you get bluffed out and you're not putting up much of a fight. And you know, his thing is to you know, he'll throw some punches and then he'll go into holding you and mauling you, and I'm just not gonna, you know, those punches to the side of the head while he's holding, I don't count that. That's not boxing. You know, I was going for Bradley versus Pacquiao in both fights, but in the first fight, Bradley was doing a lot of that. I may count a point for that, but I'm not gonna give you a round because you're holding and hitting on the side of the head, and he was doing a lot of that, you know. And I think he's got to clean that up. You know, he's got to clean that. He's got to switch that up. I like the feints that he was doing, but you got to feint with the purpose. There's got to be a purpose behind your feint, or, you know, the effect is going to wear off on the opponent. You know, the feints confused Kell Brook a little bit. And then, you know, I like how he changes angles, but I don't like that side-to-side movement. You know, I have something I call east to west movement, but it's really just changing angles. He's moving side to side, and when he stops moving side to side, it's easy for him to get time, because you know he's going to throw a punch. Now, I like it. Besides that, I like his movement. I like the beast mode style, but I don't like it when that's the main focus and you're not trying to land punches. You know, he needs to study guys like Tyson. You know, I believe in basketball and in boxing, you know, there's guys that have similar styles to you, and it'll help you to study guys that came before you, because then you can get pointers off certain things that they picked up that you might have missed. You know, and if he's to watch Tyson, if he was to incorporate the double uppercut into his fighting game, it would help him so much. I mean, you know, when you look at the fight, what punch that Sean Porter has did Kell Brook have to watch out for? Did he have to watch out for a left hook? I would recommend, you know, incorporate more left hooks and double left hooks. You know, and it's like, you know, it's a loss of body control. That's what it shows. It shows a lack of body control to me. You know, the way he does, it's like, that's why people call it a bumbling style. And I think his style can work if he backs it up with something. You know, like Ricky Hatton kind of fought like that. Ricky Hatton to throw in a strong jab, tie you up, push you up off him, and then land some punches. You know, and that'll be his rhythm and his on Kell Brook. See, the thing that you have to do when you're in the ring is you have to find out where your opponent is attacking from, and it gives you a good indication of how to go about the fight. You know, what is their attack? What is their main attack? You know, you only got 2 hands and a head and a body. And I think Brook quickly deciphered that Shawn Porter's main attack was going to be the body. You know what I'm saying? He was just going to maul you to death. And as long as your gauges are covered, you know, your gauges are blocked, and your gauges are what's your clean areas that punches can land. You know, your face, you know, your body. You know, as long as you cover all your gauges and the spots that you really can be hurt from, that style will, you know, you will weather the storm. And basically fighters like that, like Shawn Porter, they just tire themselves out. You know, and that's what happened. You know, he tired himself out, and Kell Brook timed him. I don't think Shawn Porter took enough time to box other than the feints, and that was why he lost. You know, and I think a fight, because Kell Brook is similar to Mayweather. You know, a lot of things that he does, I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they fight from a similar point of reference, if you ask me. And I think a fight with Mayweather would have been similar to this. You know, the way Shawn Porter fights, you know, and he comes with his head up, that's why he got hit clean. You know, the way he fights, he can get clipped. You know, he could definitely get clipped, you know, and I will say, you know, that it was somewhat amazing that, you know, he wasn't dropped with the strong shots he was hit. You know, but it's the #1 neighborhood sports analyst. I thought it was a good victory. I'll be coming at you with more videos. You know, we on the group Let's Talk Sports, so it may be other people that's a part of our family that will make videos and things too. So you can catch us on Facebook in the group Let's Talk Sports. Please join. It'll be lots of fun for you. And if you're in San Francisco, the city, you can catch us on a live show Thursday nights, 6:30, Channel 29. And please participate with the movement. I mean, this is a way for the average sports fan to become a commentator and, you know, and become more involved, you know, and also for ex-athletes to still be a part of sports. You can email us once again at letstalksportsnation@gmail.com. And peace, and I'm out.